What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. It is the first Inside the Badger Den, but the third episode, first of the year at least. Mr. TechRat, how are you? Welcome back. You were sick last time, but this time, by the grace of all the gods above and below, you have returned to us.
Yeah, happy new year. I still feel under the weather, but there is like sun peeking through the clouds of that weather. So yeah, I feel a little better.
Good, good. We need you because, there's like a couple, like three or four topics, multiple videos on all of them. We'll sort of just ramble them all into their little subsections, but they're deep, they're compacted, and it's like if it's a viewpoint of what's to come, it's sad because it's more of we were right. We knew it would always get worse before it got better. And like, yeah, we made a god bleed and they had to admit that they did, but like, nope, they went right back to doubling down, and it's gonna be like literally doubling down.
Yeah, but it is fun to watch like the higher ups at Disney go, damn it, they got all the way inside the gate. So yeah, it's cool. Let them crumble
Ripa
from the
said it.
inside.
Ripa said it. He's like, it's impressive. This ability, it's double. It's like cognitive dissonance and like fuck it, we're doing it anyway. We'll force you. It really is that what's his name? Mike Tyson. I'll fuck you till you love me.
Right.
They are gonna push the message until we accept it or break. Oh, and the message. I did it to myself. Perfect segue because the first video that we really had of the new year was the unexpected. I say unexpected because this is like the third video. They must have talked for 3 hours and then clipped it up. But Ben Shapiro and the Critical Drinker. So full
Right.
disclosure, do you actually know who Ben Shapiro is?
I am lightly for those who don't know,
I'm
I
assuming a lot of
am
people, if you don't pay attention to politics. And yeah,
I was gonna
for those that
say
don't know,
politically retarded.
Mr. TechRat gives less than a fizzuck about most politics. And yes, unless I yell at him about why it's important.
100%. I care, but I don't care too much.
You don't
So yeah,
care. You just
I'm
know
aware
it's
of
important.
him
You're aware
and
it's
like
important. Yeah.
yeah, I know he's gotten himself into some interesting situations and
You're in politics.
yeah,
Into your interesting situation.
sure. You're always in
Ben
a crosshair.
Shapiro is a conservative commentator from the Daily Wire. He's the Jewish Jew of all Jews that have ever Jewed. If there was an incarnate of Jews, I'm pretty sure it's Ben Shapiro, and he'd be proud of that, and as he should
L'chaim.
be. L'chaim, brother, yes. And of course, critical drinker, and I don't know why, but he went on with Ben Shapiro, and they're talking about pop culture. And I will give this to Ben Shapiro. While a lot of the conservatives, and that's a whole thing that we try and get, the right to like, because the left certainly has understood this to like, hey, don't ignore pop culture because when you're ignoring it, the other side isn't, and they're using it to convert. But Ben Shapiro at least does understand pop culture and like the importance of it. He grew up like, I'm going to put quotations on this, but like being a nerd. He watched Star Wars and
Right.
Star Trek and shit like that. So yeah, so he has Critical Drinker on that. They did a bevy of different, but this one was the future of entertainment, just their views on it. I know you didn't. I'm probably watched my commentary on it, but
Yeah, I
never
watched yours,
seen.
but
Yeah,
again, having someone who's beyond being critical drinker, who's also a gifted author, um, yeah, I'm sure it was a lengthy interview, but probably worth catching the whole thing. I might do it. I won't say I will. I don't want to lie to you.
no, no, no. You could do it, just don't like doing it. Yeah, no, it's good. It's worth a watch. And if nothing else, I just think it's a nice sign that that side is at least understanding some of the importance of our little area, the vector that's used. So pay attention to pop culture. And unfortunately, pop culture that eh, I don't know. I'm so conflicted about this because the more I watch it, it's like a beautiful destruction. And that's, of course, the Echo, everything to do with Echo.
It's coming.
It's coming, and we got a fan trailer. We got one of those really cringe super fan trailers, and I love it. And it's short, so we can watch it real quick.
I haven't seen this. I thought you were talking about that fight scene that they released. That
No,
was
no, no. If this one missed you, if This one missed you. Hold on, let me make sure it's the right one. Because yeah, we do have that fight scene. Yeah, this was the MCU's gonna MCU that Gary posted, but this is an actual Marvel released this because remember, Marvel's proud of it. But this was like when Rings of Power was coming out, and they had a bunch of cringy fucking people you knew never read the books or watched the movies. They were like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, Galadriel, my girl, Galadriel." Then, of course, like a couple weeks later, those same people were like, "No, I'm watching House of the Dragon. It came out first. I'm not watching Rings of Power," even though they were so excited for it. No, this is that version of it, but for Echo.
Don't be afraid. Phenomenal. Really?
Dark. Grit.
Just pay attention to
Don't be afraid. Phenomenal.
these are the new fans. These are the fans that Disney wants. All right.
Don't be afraid. Phenomenal. Really?
Dark. Gritty. It's the new MCU.
I think it's a fresh take from Marvel. You know, the gritty side of Marvel that we haven't actually seen in a while. And
I was gonna say he better not fucking say we've never seen it because we've seen it. Daredevil, the real Daredevil.
You saying this is a fan made?
No. Marvel.
I was gonna say
Marvel made-
this was okay. I remember seeing this one come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was fantastic because the whole new this is new Marvel direction. No, this is where Marvel's been going, and it hasn't been doing well at all.
No. I just think it's so important the people that Marvel chose to show this.
It's an interesting group, almost like they walked into insert name of clothing store and were like, "You 7 people, come say these things."
You'll understand this, but if you're in Southern California, I was like, all of them shop it out of the closet.
Yeah.
All of them shop at that thrift store.
excited to see what they do with it.
I love the fact that the main character was deaf, and then I got
Tell me she doesn't look like April O'Neil, the new short, fat black April O'Neil, because that's what they do now.
Modern.
Yeah, modern, which really just means ethnically ugly. Can't have pretty women of any skin color anymore. It's threatening. It's threatening to
That's
the body
unfair.
positivity.
That's unfair because, for instance, I feel this person is attractive, right? You just look like, yes, you shopped at some grandmother's
Oh,
closet for a
no.
bit.
I'm sure if you took off the glasses, did the hair up, put her in a nice house, she's probably hot as fuck. That's not what I mean.
But I know she's not here for that.
Yeah.
she's
You say she's not here to be easy on the eyes for me? You hear Frost screaming? Sorry. All right.
to a whole new world. It was American Sign Language, it was Indigenous history, so it wasn't just an action show.
As a deaf person, I feel very proud to see that on screen.
Nice leading lady vibes. Very cool.
I love it's a bit more R-rated, a bit more violent.
And the action sequences were absolutely insane.
Now,
That's Scarlet Witch vibe.
yeah, now, okay, a lot of people look goofy as shit here, but I recognize that one lady is dressed as Matt Murdock. I really hope the Knockers McGee here is dressed as Scarlet Witch, like you said. I don't know who gender affirming care act is dressed as, though, except a kindergarten teacher, probably.
Were absolutely insane. Honestly, I was not expecting that at all.
Beautifully choreographed and
Yeah.
immense. Like, they're just so exciting.
Someone signing in the middle of a fight.
Oh yes, this was the best. I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to stop. That's the best line. Someone stopping in the middle of a fight to throw gang signs at me.
I thought we were going to talk about either put your fucking jacket on or take your fucking jacket off. Pick one.
Hey,
Pick
you're
one.
either
And
hot
Mullet
or
Girl,
cold.
She looks like her last name is Della Rata. No offense. Is this one of your people? She's got a rat tail.
Mullet.
She's got a rat-
she
she's got it.
does.
She's got
Hey,
it.
but
And
she's
by the way,
rocking the
she's rocking
hoodie
the shit out of it.
and yeah.
So cool. If you're not a Marvel fan, this
And yeah, I mean, hold on.
And
What are we
back
eating
to
over here on the reservation?
Maize. It's
What-
God,
what-
what do they call it? They fry those the bread, fried bread.
Oh yeah, that Indian
like
fry
that.
bread. Yeah. I guess that would
But
be a lot of
dude,
carbs.
The choreographed fight that was mentioned a moment back.
I heard the air quotes when you said it.
So bad, dude. I wasn't until I saw I don't know if it was on Friday night.
Yeah, no, they were. I realized that I was far too forgiving, and again, starving man
Yeah.
finally got food, even if it was just a protein pack.
Exactly.
If you're not a Marvel fan, this is a great way to be introduced to the Marvel universe.
Oh,
Echo streaming on Disney Plus January 10th. Watch it.
January 9, you dummy. Could you
Well.
imagine this being your first fucking? Hey, what's Marvel? This one-legged deaf woman that's indigenous.
Unfortunately, it's a product of timing. I have to suffer. I have to suffer with the fact that I have children,
Yeah.
and those children are differently aged from each other, and each one comes into movies at a different time in their life. My youngest doesn't appreciate the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the real ones, the original ones. They're boring. He
No.
can't stand that. But it's like at the same time, my oldest absolutely loves them. I don't know. I think if you came into something in the middle, if you came into Star Wars world when,
Sorry, this is the face I'm making right now when you talk
I
about
know.
anything
I
Marvel.
know.
I also think your children, whatever species they may be, rat and or badger, could do a better job choreography. What was Gary trying to say? Choreo? It was some guy was trying to talk to him and he was saying it wrong. Either way,
Right.
you're right. Choreography is shit, but they could do better than this. And yeah, let's knock out this Echo altogether. This was the other one we had this week of the actual. It's not leak. Some guy just took a footage of his phone. It's in Canada, but look, let's just watch it and yeah. We need to hear it. So, I mean, this is supposed to be a flashback and it possibly is a training. I was just happy that look, he's at least not getting thrown around.
Yeah, it can't be a training when she fires a weapon at him.
It's like the first time he fights her.
Maybe.
I don't know. Gary's whole thing is obviously that I knew fuck all about her power. Echo is that she's supposed to echo back whatever power, which to me just sounds like a ripoff of Taskmaster, who can just absorb whatever. But it's fine, whatever. And obviously Matt's supposed to have 360-degree sonar vision,
And still, I mean, she lands one of them right here.
She lands a couple but he plays them off, and it's good because it's matte and red, and it's at least hitting more. But yeah, obviously, big pauses that's not worth it. Look, there's a reason that they're releasing it all at once, all 5 episodes on January 9th.
Episode.
Yeah, and God bless them. We'll make videos. We'll talk about it. If it's good, it's good. If nothing else, maybe we'll like the Daredevil stuff.
Either way, we'll have something to watch and something to complain about.
Oh, there will be no shortage of complaints, and something that definitely has no shortage of complaints. Something that ironically was talked about 8 months ago, and everyone I think just collectively blocked it out because we never thought the day would come. But nope, Disney is going forward. They're going to make a movie with Rey taking place 15 years after the sequel trilogy, and they have a director. We know who the director is, obviously, Miss Charmin Obaid Chinoy.
I loved that one movie she did.
And the sad thing is, and I'm sure that this will get like lost in all the toxic men. This is exactly what she's fighting. No, this is the disclaimer. Regardless of her personality, her actual things she's doing, actually being a documentary filmmaker about abuse in the Muslim world and the struggle of Pakistani women and all of the horrible things they have to do, or an actual second-class citizenship that, and real struggle and all that. That is all beautiful. And I think she should continue to do that. But in no way, shape, or fucking form do I think that translates into making a Star Wars movie or filling because I've gone on to see if we're taking this out of context. I like to make men uncomfortable shit. We kind of are, but we really aren't, because she said it multiple times on multiple subjects. And what it really comes down to is what she said is, I'm a storyteller and an activist, and all of my storytelling has activism in it. And so no matter what, you can't separate the two. And the last thing we need is more activism in Star Wars. And as Az says, the last thing we need is for them to fucking current day us more. It's just stop. Thank you for your service to actual women in the real world, but please keep doing that. We don't need you to have Rey again go help the struggle of the Sand People.
I fully agree with what you said. If you're good at something, for instance, your activism work in that field, run with that. Save everyone you can, right? On the Star Wars end, do we need the great Az said, I think it was when he was screaming about the Starfield game, escapism.
Pronouns?
We're trying to get away from certain things,
Right.
and you can't. And so, like, imagine a world where you don't, of all the things you have to worry about, imagine not having to worry about something like spousal abuse or whatever activism thing you're worried about inserting into some sci-fi movie.
You know what's sad is I can already hear what their response to that would be. That all these things, they're just because basically the reason that you have any problem with this is because you're a horrible person.
Because
That's
I feel
why.
uncomfortable about it.
Yeah,
right?
she's bringing much.
This is happening.
By the way, I see 4 women up here, but apparently
These
John Stewart
poor
still
bastard.
identifies as a man. This is 8 fucking years ago, and if you're wondering why we're playing something from 8 years ago, it's because all of her views haven't changed. They've only gotten worse. She's doubled down. I could find 3 or 4 other clips of her essentially saying the same shit, but this is it right here.
This is happening now.
Mhm.
And so you are watching the lessons of, and it's a dramatization of the lessons of it. As an activist and an artist, do you make that calculation? Who is my target? You talked a little bit about, I want women to watch this, and I want them to feel empowered, and I want my daughter to have heroes. I couldn't help but notice a thread through each of these, that the men were assholes.
Hilarious.
It's a special glee and joy, and I think that's what everyone's picking up on. It's like, yeah. If I really thought she was 100% talking and laughing about like the actual fucking men that are for like marrying off of women and the raping and the fucking abuse and the not reading or letting drive or going
The
to school,
job
all
of
that
the
shit.
Hutts.
Yeah. Fuck them. Make them uncomfortable. Put them up on the wall with all the other maps and all the weird shit. That's fine. But it's just, God, I just don't think she's condensing it to just them. I sort of feel like she's hitting a lot of people with this
Lumping.
crossfire. Yeah, it's
Grouping
splash
everyone
damage.
together. Yeah.
And John is sort of alluding to it, and she doesn't really do much to alleviate it. Yeah.
And I'm wondering, as one of them,
One of them.
what is the balance of activating a force for change, but also trying to permeate that patriarchy, that power structure?
I hate them when you fuckers say. Basically, he said, "Hey, how do you get your message across without alienating the people you're trying to get your message to?" And the answer is, she hasn't been able to do it. They can't do it. They fucking suck at it. There is no balance. They only beat you over the head with it. If anyone's been successful, go ahead and point it out to me, because so far doesn't seem to be very nuanced or balanced.
Well, again, they lose a huge chunk of the audience that way, and then question why, or rather just throw things at people. You didn't watch it because you hate it because she's of from another country, or she's a woman in general, or whatever.
Let's
Structure. And is that a part of the calculation of your art as well? And what's been the reaction to that?
Oh, absolutely. I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
Yes. Again,
In the
obviously,
bedroom?
I enjoy making women feel uncomfortable.
Imagine saying that.
It feels wrong saying it in jest. That's what we're fucking with. It's just.
Not you, just
Not you.
not
Yeah.
Point taken.
Every
Not
other
you,
one.
John, because you're not a fucking man.
Yeah.
I just, it's a bad taste in the mouth on top of a bad taste in the mouth on top of a bad taste in the mouth.
Well, you notice that the two other women looked at her kind of head cocked, like, really? Like you said that.
Oh, notice that Meryl Streep, who called Harvey Weinstein God, was on stage.
Yeah.
You know
I don't
who
know,
else
man.
probably thought Harvey Weinstein was God? Was his assistant, Leslie Headland, who's got that fucking Acolyte show. Another woman. Remember? But there were
Another
no
Star
women.
Wars.
There's no women until Charmin Ultra here showed up. There's no women directors,
Yeah.
no creatives. It's the same. It's all sort of the same shit where they come in and act like it's the first time. It's not. It's not. It's stolen valor. They did it with, and this sort of goes into the next topic of just Disney is a shit show. There's a civil war going on for the fucking heart and soul of it between the same people that want to make money and want to return to, just normal decency, and then the message pushed down by the World Economic Forum, which, by the way, the majority of this bitch Charmin Ultra talking and saying all the horrible things are at World Economic Forum conferences. But
Yeah.
it's fucking constant virtue signaling of like, well, look, the first woman of, even though there's a bunch of other women that have done shit, oh, it's the Black Panther is the first, even though they had already had Wesley Snipes do fucking Blade in the 90s. And
So good.
the first Black Jedi, even though Mace Windu was the first Black Jedi, Finn is not fucking new. And then they don't even have they shrink him on the poster for China. Oh, Chadwick Boseman, and then they make him put the mask on for China. And oh, we have a lesbian kiss in Rise of Skywalker. And then they edit that out. It just shut the fuck up. No one
Yeah,
believes you anymore.
They care a lot until the money will be sacrificed, and then they tone it down to where they need to and hope no one complains enough.
I don't even think they do. Where's the toning down? The money's gone. They've flop after flop. The only money is coming is from these goddamn investment firms, these Vanguard, State Street, BlackRock, whatever the two Capital something LLC. That okay. So we've talked about it. People are tired of losing. Shareholders are tired of all their fucking money gone. Disney is not profitable anymore. They're being sued. So many. Okay, let's list them off. They're being sued by over 9,000 people for pay disparity amongst their female employees. They're being sued by a female employee for covering up a sex scandal with not just her, but at least 3 other people, and is alleged even more than that they continually covered up because the person in charge was making the money. Like they one of the only, right? They're being it's not sued, but there is a scandal because they were dumb and fought and got political with Ron DeSantis, and he took away their little safety zone, their little tax-free land. It's now come out that the Reedy Creek area, which is being managed, was being bribed by Disney. So that's a whole shit show. Then you have actual stockholders, the Ike Perlmutters, Nelson Peltz, guys that are like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? You said you would stop. You said you would stop doing politics and pushing this agenda. You're losing us money. You've admitted. What are you doing? They're trying to get on the board. Bob Iger's fighting it. He's getting new people, like more the equivalent of State Street. These investment firms that have their woke. It's where all the evil money comes from to back him up. So they're fighting for board seats. Nelson Peltz and Ike Perlmutter have come back with his name is Jay Rasulo. He's a former board member that everyone actually trusts, and he was supposed to be the heir apparent, but Bob Iger picked someone else, so now he's back, but he's got some authenticity. So it's a fucking civil war for I'm calling it the heart and soul. It's really the bottom line, but again, the interests converge because just returning to a sense of like Disney from 10 years ago, family friendly, all of that would just would be profitable. So I don't know what to do. I don't know. It's insane.
When we were kids, we were watching everything in either in the theater and or on VHS, right? And we wore those tapes out.
People don't realize that you couldn't just go out and buy a Disney movie. You couldn't just go out and watch a Disney movie. They literally called it the fucking Disney Vault.
Yeah.
Maybe they would show a Disney movie on ABC television every once in a while. Because remember, this is before cable and Disney Channel. Right. If you didn't have those VHSs when they released on the anniversary, like, right, and they would bring them out of the Disney Vault, we would all have those fucking VHSs of all the Disney classics that we thought came out for the first time when we were kids, not realizing that Snow White came out in the 30s.
Right.
Yeah, no, that Disney is fucking gone, and that's what that
Gone,
James
man.
Franco is coming back. He's saying this ain't the Disney that I recognize.
No, like you said, about 10 years, that makes sense because back when my oldest was much younger, we would do the same thing out of nostalgia, right? Like let's take my kid to go do the same. I want them to get the feeling that I got watching these movies, but it's gone.
Slowly infected, taken over, pushed out. One one little piece dismantled over and over and over. John Lasseter kicked out of Pixar. Just happened to be a straight white male, but John Lasseter kicked out of Pixar. You know the guy that did Toy Story and all that good shit that made Pixar. When's the last good Pixar movie you've had? Was Seeing Red,
It's been a
Elementals?
bit. Oh
Yeah,
no, neither.
right, right. The point is across the board, every single creative talent that had an ounce of dignity or actual creation in them has been kicked out, pushed out, or left. All
Yeah.
that's left are the Charmin Ultras, the activists first. Fuck, at least she had the balls to say storyteller. Most just say I'm an activist. If you don't
Right.
like my politics, don't buy my book. And then we
I
see
see
how
what you
that works
did.
out. Yeah. Well, it's all sort of connected.
It is. It's all because again, it's the same. Whether it's the same message or not, it's delivered the same way.
They don't know what they're doing with anything. They don't know what they're doing with anything. With Marvel, Kevin Feige has fucked it up so thoroughly. Again, another activist, another male feminist who, God, can we just go back to believing people when they fucking tell you who they are? He said it from the beginning. I want more female characters than males. Well, he got it. Here we are. It's very diverse, very diverse. I mean, everyone thinks the same fucking way, but they all look at least marginally different. I can't. Aren't you really excited? What's next for besides Echo? Huh? Nothing.
I think we talked what Daredevil or Deadpool is the only Marvel
The
thing
only
coming
thing.
out this year.
The only thing in the other end are whispers on the wind that Sony's going to fuck up more, which is not really. This is. I'm only in. I'm only including it because I guess it counts Sony Spider-Man verse that they're gonna fuck. They're gonna make basically the Sony equivalent of Doctor Octopus and Mysterio movies to go with their fabulous Morbin time and the Craven one. And dear
Craven.
God, the third of 3 Venom
Oh
films.
my God! What about
I'm
Madam Web?
shocked. Oh, Madam, I blocked it out. Madam
I
Web.
know.
Madam
That's
Web.
why I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
Again, I have shown it to my oldest, who is a hardcore MCU fan. Like she's not into the comics. She loves the movies though, right?
Yeah.
Problem is, watches watches the trailer for this movie and goes, "Who's this for?"
But not the modern audience, the mythical modern audience.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know because it sure as fuck not for comic fans. Again, Madam Web is an old woman. It's an old woman in a multi-dimensional like pocket zone that fucking tells things. That's the extent of my knowledge of Madam Web.
That's what I
And
remember.
you show me Dakota Johnson. It's like, okay, all right. But I'll tell you who's not dealing with any of this shit. Granted, this is just for conflict scheduling, but we found out that Steven Yeun is out as Sentry, which was like Marvel's Superman. Again, more characters that big blonde muscle guy,
Yeah.
of course, small Asian man.
What a terrible loss.
And by the way, I'm still so fucking confused over the differences between Thunderbolts and Captain American 4 Brave New World because Harrison Ford's Red Hulk in both of them. They're both getting reshoots. I guess the only thing I'm thinking is that the Captain America one is a setup where Harrison Ford's Ross turns into Red Hulk, and then in Thunderbolts, which is like their version of Suicide Squad, he's the villain.
I was gonna say it might be a timeline thing. That does make sense.
Otherwise, it's a DC thing, which we'll talk about here in a second, where one was supposed to come out, but because of delays, fuck arounds, woo woo woo, they got a bowl of spaghetti thing going on. Like Aquaman was supposed to have like all the movies that it just made more money than were supposed to come out way fucking earlier, and he was anyway. Aquaman is the number one, at least of all the DC movies that have come out this year. He beat them all, and it's still a flop, but it did at least beat them, which I just think is nice.
I don't know. I mean, okay, of those two Marvel, never mind. I guess I answered that. I feel like you'd rather watch Thunderbolts over Captain Not America.
I'd rather watch Aquaman 2. The
Hey,
three of
look at
those, I'd rather
you.
watch Aquaman 2. Yeah,
Coming in with a write-in.
yeah. I wrote. Yeah, yeah.
That's a ballot
Apparently,
joke. You hear that?
apparently, when things aren't put on and states aren't quick enough to fix that, you have to write them in.
I made a political joke.
Yeah, that's fine. That's the extent. That's fine. Well, yeah. No, the Thunderbolts. I guess I would pick the Thunderbolts if I had between the two. I don't know. It's because Winter
Yeah.
Soldier. Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Holding on to that last thread.
The last male, Sebastian Stan, who, if I was in charge, would be playing Luke Skywalker right fucking now. The new Jedi Order, the sequels would be gone, and the new Jedi Order movie would be Sebastian Stan as Luke Skywalker rebuilding the Jedi Order. That's what we'd be getting right now, with building up to Heir of the Empire. Not what they're gonna give to more fucking Luke's story given to Ahsoka. It would be happening right now with Sebastian Stan, who looks just like Mark Hamill.
I'd take it. Looks
A
good.
young Mark Hamill. A young Mark Hamill before he got TDS and tried to have his son abort his unborn child. But I digress. We also had what?
Last note on that, just because I'm thinking about it, I giggle every time I hear you say blue titty milk.
It's green titty milk, and people come in and try and say it's blue milk. It was blue milk on Tatooine. Green titty milk is from the alien he's milking in The Last Jedi. All right, and he gives it that Mentos fresh smile at the camera. All right, that's the green titty milk.
I got you.
And everyone loves the blue. That's why I don't. All right, I have no problem with blue titty milk. Green titty milk, I have an issue with you. All right, fake milk. Fake milk.
He's freebasing the green milk.
But just because this is, Disney is fucked. We've talked about it. We'll see what happens with that. That's the one thing that may save all of this is if Nelson Peltz, Ike Perlmutter, and Jay Rizzullo get their board seats and they go, no, we're not doing any of this. But the really interesting thing that is happening though with Charmin, and like I said, a lot of her comments are from 8 months ago. It's like, this is the exact same thing that happened with Rachel Zegler. No one was paying attention. They said a bunch of dumb shit in press junkets over a period of months. And then once it actually came time for like their stuff to come out, people go, wait, what did they say? And then they go back and everyone reacts as if it just happened. Because again, that when Rachel Zegler and all the weird, that shit was like 6 months old. This is 8 years old of Charmin Ultra saying she likes to make men uncomfortable. And a lot of her other ones are like 6 months, 7 months. The point is, it's just, I did the reacting to Paul Chato, and he very nicely said Disney needs to get these bitches in check. Like, that was the essential part of his message. Like, how are they letting the stars go out and then say this shit that will intentionally divide the audience, unless that's their weird fucked up game plan.
Well, also, I think, like, who the hell was watching that video 8 years ago to begin with? So like who
Kevin
heard
Feige
her say
and
got
Dave
upset about
Filoni
it?
and see, I don't think anyone got upset about it until it started getting shared because it was only targeted at the people that liked it.
Right. Yeah. It took.
No one was going.
Like you said, it took
looking up
something
women
new to come up.
conferences. Right. But
14,000 views.
I'm sure Rachel Zegler did have in the comment section when it came out. It's just that there was so much other shit going on at the time, like mysterious things from COVIDs and strikes and other things.
Dude,
yeah.
Imagine if she wasn't on strike and could have been out there talking more shit. He would have dug such a better grave for herself.
I hope she's getting paid for every second in that dress.
Yeah, poor thing.
We see when Netflix actually released those streaming numbers, like, oh, it's so much worse than you guys thought. You're not going to make any money if you think
Take
you're
your
getting paid.
shekels.
You're not going to get anything, and God knows what they fucking count as a view.
You're getting paid in Bitcoin.
I mean, if they're doing it like Rumble does, no one's making any money.
But people still persist.
Yeah, no, and just one last thing of the on schedule, and then we're basically caught up with this month because again, like I said, it was those same issues, and we can go a bit more into the Disney just to tie it off in a bow. But that last one was just that. Talk about DC. James Gunn officially set Superman Legacy. It's going to start filming in March of 2024. God knows when it'll actually come out, assuming 2025. They're quick and don't do the famous reshoots that they've been doing. But at least the good thing about this is there's no one to blame but James Gunn. Like, and there's also no one to fuck it up and ideally slow or impede the progress. Just go film the shit, film the script. Right? We just blame him for anything.
I mean, blame man seems to be the new thing in general. Like, you mentioned Aquaman. I like how Aquaman is doing better than the shittier other movies that have to do with superheroes recently.
I put this solely on the fact that it's Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson. Jason Momoa is a dude, bro, that people would drink a beer with, and that's all it takes. All it takes to overcome any problems with Amber Heard or any problems with the fact that it's not like doesn't matter. It's going nowhere. The universe isn't continuing. It's made 274 million. That's nothing to sneeze at. It's like 70 million more than fucking the Marvels did at the entirety of its worldwide run. And this is just
right.
So he's still got some more time. It's not nothing.
Yeah,
I'd be a little pissed off if I was Zachary Levi or fucking the kid from Blue Beetle. Like, why don't you come see my movie?
Because we knew A, it wasn't the
Jason
last
Momoa.
one, and B, you're not a dude, bro.
Yeah, well, I don't think we'll see Blue Beetle again.
No, I don't think so.
Just like,
I watched it. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
I think like all of them, it was just forgettable. Just like James Gunn says, he has no plans to recast Margot Robbie, and he'd like to work with her again as Harley Quinn or any character. I don't think we'll see her again as Harley Quinn from her choice. I think she's done with the character.
It's probably better. I'm okay with it. Like she did good, and then it fell off. But I don't know that you can blame her for that.
No, you put that again, like most things, solely on the DC executives, the Walter Hamadas, because David Ayer's original script for Suicide Squad sounded like a fucking banger before they made him change it to the weird whatever creatures. Joker was going to have a bigger role in it. Whatever you think about Jared Leto as Joker, and yes, I think we all know that putting the fucking broken tattoo in the grill was a mistake, but on its own, I don't have a problem with Jared Leto's Joker. The Leto deck every time. I fucking think it.
I would have taken a full movie with him and her.
100%. Yeah.
Even though I didn't care for him like that.
We talked about it briefly. I don't like emancipated Harley Quinn. I don't like. I tolerate Harley and Poison Ivy as besties. That shit. I like my Harley Quinn with Joker, Mr. J, and being a fucked up Harley, like Bonnie and Clyde. It's a toxic relationship. I know. That's the point. Joker's a psychopath. She's a psychopath. And yet there is love there. I'm one of the sick fucks that actually think somewhere in a weird, twisted way, Joker and Harley Quinn actually do, quote unquote, love each other, even if it's a psychopath's view of it.
Hey, man, romance exists even on crackhead levels.
They are opposites. It's just supposed to be like Batman and Catwoman when Tom King isn't fucking it up. Like, it's just... I don't know. I prefer that's how she was their inception. That's how Bruce Timm created her. Bruce Timm and Paul Dini in the animated series. That's so. And the further and further you pull her away from Joker, and the further and further you make her a fucking girl boss that's perfect, and turn her into a Deadpool now, where she can understand that she's a comic book character and she breaks the third wall or fifth wall. I don't like it. Fourth wall. Jesus.
It used to be special when that happened, and now everyone does it. So
not everyone needs representation, diversity. Not every fucking character needs to have a complete opposite, Like, we don't need a Deadpool in DC. She doesn't need to fucking break the fourth wall. What are you going to do? But I do like her. Yeah, I do like Margot Robbie. And ironically, she would fit as the Harley Quinn because James Gunn's Batman is going to be older on his fourth Robin and Margot Robbie. Like, it's not she's old, but she would be an older Harley Quinn for ideally an older Joker to go with an older Batman. So
timeline
all be
wise,
contemporaries. Yeah,
imagine
I don't
that.
know. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. I see why people are burnt out. It's we were talking about that superhero fatigue, and no, they're not tired of superheroes. They're tired of bad superhero movies. But I think it's also now slowly fucking becoming, yeah. Even if they're good, people are not gonna fucking go because you fucked it up too long. That's why when you realize that, like, oh my god, you're trying to tell me that we're not even gonna see an Avenger movie until like 2028, bro.
Right.
Who's gonna be here for that?
Yeah. Well, again, that's the reset. Maybe we're hoping
No.
that new people
That's
come
not even the
through.
reset. That's what I'm saying. They're so fucking delusional. The reset right now should be Deadpool. Deadpool should kill everyone, and the universe should reset.
Oh,
Bro,
yes.
the reset's gonna be 2 more fucking Avenger movies, then reset. Do you realize that means we may not see the X-Men until 2030 something? I don't plan to be alive.
All right. So Deadpool finds a way to get into the room with all the doors with the keymaker in the Matrix and just
No.
resets everything.
No, he goes and he pops up to the Kang sacred timeline shit, and he just destroys
you go.
all of it. He destroys all of it and it resets to the beginning. It resets to the beginning, and then you see all the entire universe that all the shit reset is actually Mr. Fantastic looking at a microscope. It was just a petri dish with a little fucking.
And someone hands him a
Then you
bowl
realize
of
you're
spaghetti.
in the real 616 with white Nick Fury. But I can
It's
dream.
the same.
Can
It's the
I?
same world where Lois saves Superman, right?
You know, it was one of those things. Do we even want to go over it? Because it really sort of could be dismissed as a rumor or a fake news type thing. But yeah, the runner-up for Lois did say that in her page for the audition that Lois is the one that saves Superman. She's the brains and the fearless one, which is like, those are all accurate statements to Lois, but I've been hurt before, boss. The way you say it makes me think you're gonna hurt me.
I like what you said in your video about it, that it's possible it's taken maybe out of context where maybe she assists him to get out of sticky situation, but doesn't per se save him. You know what I mean? She didn't stop Brainiac kind of a thing.
Yeah, I could see a scene. I could see a scene where her and Clark are in public and she beats the shit out of a bunch of guys in front of him to save Clark, the farm
Right.
boy.
And everyone does the whole like, geez, Clark.
I
couldn't
and it would be.
even-
I see pathways to how they could do it, but
Sure.
it's just, and the only saving grace is, again, like I said, James Gunn knows how to do this. He knows how to do feminine women who are strong and who beat guys up. But again, Lois is a fucking reporter. She's not Gamora. She's not Blue Bitch, Nebula.
Dude,
She
Gamora
doesn't
is
have
not
super
even
strength.
Gamora.
Right. Well,
Anymore.
that's a whole. Hey, guess what? Still haven't watched the third Guardians. That's
Which
right.
apparently was the better.
Most profitable. It's
thing
the
of
only movie that made.
Marvel.
It's the only Disney movie that made money in 2023 was Guardians
Yeah.
3. Congratulations, James Gunn.
I'll watch Party
Every
That with you.
other single. Yeah, that's fine. We do that. And then do a little Badger mini review on a late ass movie that everyone else has either not watched, doesn't give a shit about, or
They're not watching this anyway.
Hey, I guarantee you, some people stay this long. Some people, and to those people,
okay.
I say thank you.
All right, hang on. I got an honorable mention then if someone did stay. I watched a movie and I wanted to mention it to you. Hadn't brought it up at all. Wanted to save it for this. Did you watch The Creator?
No, I've heard about it.
Hear me
Seen
out,
it.
dude.
Thought it was going to be generic. You're saying it's good?
Hear me out. I might be biased because of the whole parental connection.
Oh, for sure.
I cried my ass off. They caught me in the feels. I watched half of it last night, got groggy, went to sleep, woke up this morning, fresh cup of coffee, sat down. It's one of those things. I'm not going to spoil a single thing. I don't even want to say like there was this part. No.
Oh,
but
if
it's
it's
one
good,
of those
you
things.
don't spoil it. That's the rule.
Yeah. it's one of those movies where, if you told me there was going to be another one, I'd question a few things, but I'd be interested. I would. They made me care, damn it, about characters through a 2-hour movie enough to want to see more.
And same thing with that, but TV show Reacher episode 5 made me cry. Really good writing. Good writing still
Oh.
exists. Good characters still exist. There was diversity. There was all the shit that they want, they can't do was in there. They got me to cry and feel for a character that Marvel would be fapping to be able to get this type of reaction. But guess what? You can't hire activists. You have to hire fucking writers that care first. Isn't that
Again,
funny how that works?
Don't want to spoil that at all.
Don't
Won't even mention
go
the
watch
character's
Reacher
name.
and apparently go watch the creator.
You know what?
What?
It was not what I thought, and
Saying it
I heard a
subverted
lot
your
of people.
expectations?
Well, no, I expected something different, I guess, because of everyone saying it was like a Rogue One kind of thing. And yeah, I could see the tie-ins and the connections with it being robots versus AI, robots versus,
I thought it was
humanity.
going to be, and tell me if I'm wrong here, a generic sci-fi movie that ultimately ends with the guy realizing that life is life, whether it's artificial or cybernetic. Like a transhumanism message that maybe we're more than the sum of our parts or whatever the fuck.
It is one of those
Anywhere
things
close?
where the AI he's with teaches him some things and he teaches it some things, and
Right.
then at the end of the movie, you're like, you know what, man, might not all be so different. So
Yeah,
it's
I played Mass Effect. I've saved the
Yeah.
Geth, even though I reject that third symbiosis of man and machine because I don't have the right to make that decision for anyone. Producers, neither did you. That's not the good canon ending. Sorry, I will watch the
Yeah,
creator
that
though.
was-
That sounds decent.
you know what, check it out. Let me know what you think.
Before we go though, I do want to do a shout out to a creator, fellow creator. If he's still listening, hope he is. Let's see if he made it this far. Make sure to comment. Creativity's Vanguard. One of
Yeah.
the first people small, apparently little inspiration to get him to like, oh no, fuck this. I'm making my channel. He watches all the same people we do, and he saw me do it, and he's like, that's it. I'm pulling the trigger. He's got his channel out. He's getting subscribers. He's making videos. We're doing it. We're
I
doing
saw
the thing
you
that
got a
Gary
shout
and them-
out.
It was very nice. It's very nice. I
Yeah.
felt very special and humble, and it's very nice. And I get to everyone join us, make it, speak on it. If you care, because again, the adults aren't coming to save you. We got to do it ourselves. Come.
It's terrifying when you realize that you're the adults and there's no help.
It's fucking terrifying, but you know what? That's what it is. That's what it is, and that's why we're gonna do it. Because if no one else is gonna do it, we're gonna do it. And I don't know what we're doing, but I know we're doing it really well.
And I will see you for it again next Friday.
All right, that's it. We will see all of you for it next Friday, where we wrap up all of the insanity throughout the week. When we will join you then on the 4th episode, and we'll just keep going until we hit the 400th. That's right.
Or they kick us out.
Or they kick us out, and boy, we're just kicking and screaming the entire time. Make sure to like and subscribe to this, please. If you've already liked and subscribed, or you're going to, or if you just like hate watching, hate listening, either or, keep doing it. Thank you. Rat, we'll see you on the next one. People, we'll see you on the next one. Hail the Fellowship in the 199. Adios.